Buenos días, estoy aquí en San Pancho, Mexico, haciendo mi primero vlog in YouTube. Good morning, everyone. This is my first YouTube video log, I guess video journal, you could say. I was actually doing these over on Instagram, trying to get them done in the story and in the gallery, but I always ended up talking for too long, and they just wouldn't fit into that format. So I'm going to move them over here. And that's why you're going to see this shaky camera today on YouTube. And maybe in the future I'll actually get up in the morning and set up my tripod so you won't have to deal with this. But for today, let's do it like this for my first video journal on YouTube. Here we go. This morning I was thinking about responsibility and how important it's been in my life. Now, I didn't really adapt any sort of sense of responsibility, I think, until probably my 20s. You know what, I'm gonna change that, because I was really responsible when I was younger. You know, I was working when I was like 14 years old on a farm bagging beets, and before that I loved doing like trying to set up like yard sales and things like that, or sell out of those little magazines, you know, to people. And so I always had that kind of responsibility. You know, I wanted to make money. But then when I got into my 20s, I started working at a summer camp, and I think my first summer there was 2009, and I had, I think, 10 kids in the bunk that I was living in all summer. So it was basically taking care of 10 kids who were 13 to 14 years old, and it was from basically 7:30 in the morning, you'd wake them up, until 9:30 in the morning when you put them to bed, and it was every day like that, and you get like one day off a week. And so doing that for 8 weeks over the summer, and I eventually did it for about 5 summers, really built up like a sense of community, a sense of family, a sense of responsibility that you know, I hadn't really felt before, and I really enjoyed it, even though it was really hard work. And I think a lot of people are missing that in their lives. They don't have that sense of responsibility. You know, maybe they have a job and they can make money off it, but they don't enjoy it, so they don't really have a good sense of responsibility. It's just there for the money. You know, camp was a good job that wasn't just for the money, it was for the enjoyment of the job as well. And that's a big key in that, I think, is that sense of responsibility gave me a sense of joy. It didn't matter how hard the job was, even though it was like 14-hour days, you know, 6 days a week. So the second time that I really got a good sense of responsibility, and this was a blessing, obviously, was the birth of my daughter. You know, being 26 years old, I was still in college, you know, obviously didn't really have a plan to graduate very quickly, you know, was just like, whatever, didn't have a sense of identity. But the moment that my daughter came into play and I realized that she was going to be born, right, instantly went into high gear, you know, started studying, learned how to study, started taking it very seriously, you know, aced through some of the hardest classes I've ever had. So yeah, really showed myself that a sense of responsibility not only brings me joy, like I said previously, but also that it proved to me that I can do a lot more, that I'm capable of a lot more. And I think that's something that a lot of people are missing. You know, they don't have that feeling of responsibility. And I'm just feeling this because I feel it when I think about, you know, what happens after my daughter moves on from me, after she gets old enough and doesn't care, you know, so much to stick around, doesn't need my help, you know. What is my sense of responsibility going to be at that time? I need something outside of myself. It can't just be money, you know, that doesn't really, it doesn't make me happy. You know, obviously it's nice to have money, it's good to have it. It makes you feel better. There's a lot of problems that money can solve, but it's not my driving force in life. And, you know, I think that responsibility is what I'm looking for. So at this point in my life, you know, I have that responsibility in my daughter, so that's great. But once she, you know, moves on or whatever, what am I going to do? I've been thinking about this a lot recently, and I'm not really sure yet. I've been trying to develop an idea of, oh, maybe I'd like to have like some sort of eco-farm, you know, some sustainable living, off-the-grid place, you know, that where I can still get online with Wi-Fi using solar or, you know, wind power or something like that, you know. Yeah, just like a new way to live, you know, where you can live sustainably but still modern. Maybe that would be my sense of responsibility, because I could help my grandkids raise there in the future or something. I don't know at this point, and that's what I think is a big part of my journey right now, is looking for that sense of responsibility. I think it's important for me. I think it's probably important for other people, and especially if you've never felt a sense of responsibility in your life, try taking it on. Find responsibility for something, and really just dive into that, because at that point, like, any obstacles you face, they just become totally worth it. Like I said, with the summer camp, the responsibility of taking care of those kids was awesome. It felt like I had my own little family in there. It was really tough to leave them at the end of the summer, and I ended up going back every year. Um, Now the responsibility of my daughter is just incredible. Like, it's weird to say, but when she gets like hurt or sick or something, I feel really good, because it gives me a chance to like be my best dad. Like, I have to be there for her 100% of the time, and so I don't know. It just gives me like a profound sense of joy when I get to fully take care of her like that, as opposed to when she's like doing things autonomously, and it's like, oh well, she's already kind of like her own little person, and my responsibility is waning in that sense already at 6 years old. So yeah, that's why I've kind of started thinking a lot more about responsibility and what it brings into your life. And if you're like me and you're just kind of like meandering around, like I was in college, didn't really have any goals, try adopting some responsibility and see where it takes you. I'm going to see where it takes me. And in the next couple of weeks, we're going to be flying out to Medellin into Colombia. We're going to try this homeschooling, unschooling type thing, and maybe this new sense of responsibility for her when she's not going to school all the time is going to be something that pushes me into finding what's next for me as well. So I'll keep you updated. More video journals like this to come. I know they are very different than the other videos that I'm doing, but this is honestly more of just for my own record as well. I started journaling about a little over a year ago, November 2018, and so now I'm just translating it into video journaling. I think it might help other people. I don't know how it's going to help me. I've definitely seen the written journal help me a lot, being able to recollect and go back and look at things and how I was, what perspective I was taking on certain issues. And so I don't know. I don't know what this video log is going to do. Hopefully it helps you a little bit. If it does, then, give me a like, give me a comment. I can keep leaving journals like this. I will keep leaving them like this, because like I said, it's partly for me. I don't know why it's for me. Like I said, I didn't know what the journal was for when I started it, but I found it very useful. So we'll see what happens here, and yeah, I'll keep you updated. Peace.